community. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Carrie Runckley Jones. I am the talent development teacher, along with Mr. Joe Thomas. Give us a wave, Joe. There he is. We would like to welcome you to Susan Lindgren's Elder Wisdom Children's Song. We started this project mid-November by researching the term elder. Students described an elder as loving, the heart of a community, and deserving of honor and respect. Tonight, we honor these three elders for their wisdom, guidance, hard work, and love of the younger generation. I would also like to encourage all of you to think of an elder that is important to you. Reflect on that elder who had a positive impact on your life. Please, as we celebrate our elders, I hope you in turn can take some time to celebrate your elders. Thank you, and let the performance begin.
Whenever you're ready, sweetie.
Okay. Welcome to our community celebration. It is our pleasure and honor to share with you the wise words of our elders.
Elders Wisdom Children's Song was created by Larry Long, a songwriter who grew up here in St. Louis Park. At the heart of Elders Wisdom Children's Song is a collective songwriting.
As students, we had the opportunity to learn the history of three special people. Tonight, we're excited to honor our elders throughout song.
Each of the elders came to our school to share their life stories with us, answering our questions. They passed down words of wisdom. We use these stories and words of wisdom to write our song.
This project helped us stretch our creativity thinking skills. We analyzed their stories to find themselves. These themes became verses of songs. We used the words of wisdom to create a refrains.
Throughout the process, we collaborated, needing to be open to others' perspectives. We worked together in our music and talent development classes.
Please join me in welcoming our first elder, Mr. Osman Ali. Mr. Ali was nominated by Muhammad and shared his life story with Miss Morrow's class.
Yep, you're doing the right thing.
It's not Miss Morrow's class.
Oh, make the correction, Miss Cowan's class.
Miss Cowan's class. Mr. Ali's wisdom was influenced by his childhood home in Somalia. His family moved to the United States, which inspired him to preserve a cultural historic museum throughout his companies and communities and leadership.
No, just keep playing. You please read.
Our next elder is Mr. Jerome Siy. Mr. Jerome Siy was nominated by Dahlia. He shared his stories with Miss Mara's class. Mr. Siy started his life story by honoring his family's Chinese heritage. He recalled a childhood that maintained traditions while embracing a new life in the United States. He shared his love of helping others as a doctor and of travel.
Our final elder is Miss Marliee Steven. Miss Stevens was nominated by her neighbor Elizabeth and shared her life story with Mrs. Cornelius' class. Her wisdom is influenced by her fond memories of her childhood and her love of France, which led her to become a French teacher. After becoming a wife and a mother, she found the joy of music, singing, and leading choirs.
This evening, we will begin with Miss Cowan's class. They will represent the life story of Elder Osman Ali.
My name is Osman Ali. My birthday is June 5th, 1953. I was born in Somalia. At the age of 6, my dad took me to a country called Yemen. I lived there until I learned my Islamic religion. The Quran studies, I memorized the Quran 3 times to finish the Quran and translation.
Then I went to elementary school, my middle school. Then after that, we moved back to Somalia. After high school, I went to college called LaFolle. I am married with 5 children. We first moved in Houston, Texas, then relocated to Minnesota in 1996. Family has been central to my life. I took care of my family by working many jobs. I also want to provide educational and cultural opportunities for my children and others in the community.
I was a teacher for 1 year. I left Somalia in 1975. I traveled to the United Arab Emirates. I worked there for 20 years. I was working in the hydrogeology. We were drilling wells and analyzing the sand. We were looking for petroleum and water. That was part of my job. When I moved to the United States, I never worked in one job. I worked 2 jobs and 3 jobs. I started Seagate Technology. Then I worked at the airport, the rental car back, and the car wash. I started the first Somali driving school in Minnesota. Then I started food delivery, Allied Delivery, from the restaurant chain with a neighborhood, back and forth like DoorDash. I started that time in 1997. I also started Allied.
My company brought food to schools every day. Then I started opening a big restaurant in Minneapolis. Senate Coffee at a restaurant on Lake and Cedar. I was the one who started to serve the camel meat.
After 37 years, I traveled back to Somalia. I hadn't been for a long time. My dad was sick at that time, so I went to visit him. With each visit, I brought back traditional artifacts for my restaurant. From that day, I wanted to make a culture center and museum for the community when the Civil War happened, and in Somalia, and people were displaced. Somalians are a nomadic society. We are herders living with their animals, sheep, goats, and camels. The artifacts they have are used for their daily life, collecting artifacts to preserve our culture and heritage for the younger generation. In 2013, I opened the first Somali museum in Minnesota in Midtown Global Market. We have a dance program where we train the youth in their traditional dance. We also have weaving classes, Somali language classes, and storytelling.
My words of wisdom are to ask for advice. Always stay humble and be careful about what you are doing before you take action. Never listen to false stories. I always listen to your guardians. Who are your guardians? Your parents, your teacher. If you take the idea from your parents, you will be successful.
Always try to move forward. If you fall one time or twice, you never give up. One day you're gonna get to your goal. When you fail, you don't disappoint. Try again and never give up. You're gonna hit your goal.
share the life and story of Elder Jerome Siy. Next, Ms. Marliee students will share the life and story of Elder Jerome Siy.
I am Jerome Siy, and I was born in March of 1972. I'll tell you a little bit about myself and my life story, but I actually usually like to share about 100 years before I was born, because those were the stories I heard when I was growing up, a lot of what shaped me and helped me grow to be who I am today. About 100 years ago, my great-grandparents left China. At that time, there was a lot of war and poverty. It was really hard to live there. People were leaving to go to other countries to try to work and have new lives. They went to the Philippines first and started a business. I grew up learning a lot about their history and what they did before they moved their families there. And then my parents moved from Philadelphia, Phillies, to America. When I was young, it was all about these stories and kind of the adventure that you lived through with that. I spent a lot of time with my family. There were 5 of us kids, and my grandmother lived with us. Whether it was in the car or on trips, we played lots of games, saw new things, and shared experiences.
We learn a lot about culture, but also what it was like in America. My mom learned to make spaghetti, fried chicken, and lasagna. We celebrate the 4th of July for Independence Day, but we also had Chinese New Year celebrations. We dressed in new clothes, ate certain foods, and got packets of lucky money. Chinese culture is centered a lot around family and having regular get-togethers. It's important for holidays. Food often has special meanings. For example, fish on Chinese New Year's represents abundance, and noodles for birthdays symbolize long life. Even though we don't believe in many superstitions, we value celebrating family and culture together.
We took vacation when I was young, road trips to Florida, California, and the Grand Canyon, and Arizona. We didn't fly or visit exotic places, but experienced this country later. We got to take trips back to see our relatives in China, but my mom, for example, had never met her older sister since she left at age 3. The first time they met was about 4 or 5 years later.
Now, as an adult, I like to travel to places I've never been before. I like to explore my own, take trains and buses, learn about land, people, food, and cultures. I've been to China, South Korea, Japan, the Philippines, Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, Germany, Austria, Spain, and Morocco, among other places. Traveling enriches me, helps me learn, and allows me to share my experiences with others.
I'm a doctor. That also means that when I care for people, I can really focus on caring for them as people. It can be a hard job sometimes, but it's important to think about people and all the things you do. Growing up, my parents were doctors, but I didn't want to be like them. Over time, though, I realized how fulfilling it was to take care of people. The challenge of the science involved. If I weren't a doctor, I'd probably teach. I like working with people and helping them grow.
Probably one of the biggest life lessons I've learned through stories as a kid and then growing up is that ultimately life is about people, how we treat each other, and how we care about each other. Be curious, ask questions, explore everything you do, how you apply yourself, interact with the world, and commit to your work reflects how you care about others in the world.
will be Miss Cornelius' class honoring Elder Marliee Steven.
My name is Marliee. My birthday is February 21st, 1944. During my childhood, I lived in New York in a small town which I think was really lucky. We had all our friends close by and we walked to school, which I thought was great. I had a gang of friends and my parents even called me the Little General. Our house had a huge backyard and we built forts and played in a giant sandbox my dad made.
I moved 5 times during my school years, eventually moving to Edina in 9th grade. It was tricky adjusting, but I made new friends, including my best friend Jeremy. We even started a ski club since there wasn't one.
I was a good student, and school came easy since I loved to read. I decided to go to college, which was expected in my family. I went to the University of Wisconsin for my first adventure away from home, then transferred to the University of Minnesota.
After my sophomore year, I embarked on another adventure with my friend Jan. We traveled all over Europe by train. I loved studying French in both high school and college. I loved studying French and it gave me the confidence to explore Paris where I felt at home. I later became a French teacher teaching everything from 9th graders to seniors. I loved my students. I remember one class in particular, we put on a play based on Le Petit Prince, the Little Prince. My teaching career was an important part of my life before I got married.
I met my husband Terry at the University of Minnesota. He served in Korea. We married and moved to Hawaii where we had our first daughter. We had 3 children, Jennifer, Mark, and Michael, and 6 wonderful grandchildren.
Jennifer lives in Ithaca, New York. Jennifer is in New York. Mark is in Minneapolis. Michael is in Denver. Our grandkids are spread across the country. Family is a big part of my life. I cherish the moments we spend together, especially during Christmas when everyone gathers.
Music has always been a significant thread throughout my life. Though I didn't sing in school, I sing in church choirs. Starting with kids choirs and later joining adult choirs, I continued singing in choirs until adulthood, which led me to travel to amazing places like in London, Prague, Budapest, and other cathedrals across Europe.
Music helped me create deep connections with others. I was asked to start a youth choir at church, but I said yes, and for about 40 years, I directed youth choirs. Helping young people discover and share their musical gifts was a highlight of my life.
Looking back on my life, I have a few words of wisdom to share. First, life is like a story. It's a choose your own adventure. The choices you make shape your story, so make sure it's one you want to read. And always ask questions. Don't assume you know the answer, because sometimes the answers come from asking the right question. Just like when I started the ski club with Jenny. We didn't know if it was possible, but we asked and made it happen.
Looking back at my life, I have a few words
We are so grateful and honored for your willingness to share a few of your wise words. We have learned a lot from you.
As we grow up, we will try to remember and follow your words of wisdom.
Finally, we have the gift of gratitude for you.
As we end our performance, I want to give our elders an opportunity if there is anything you would like to share with our community before we end.
Well, one, thanks for having me. I am just so incredibly impressed by the talent of these kids, and that just shows all the hard work and dedication they have. I also am kind of speechless, but I just want to say that I spent my life telling other people's stories. I never imagined that mine would be told. So thank you so much.
I too say thank you so much. This was such an honor. And when I got, the kids all wrote letters to us to kind of introduce themselves individually, and they described themselves. And so many of them said that they were kind and funny, which I think is great, but kind. And it reminded me when I was in high school, many years ago, in my counselor's office, there was a poster. And on that poster, it said, "I shall pass through this world but once. Therefore, any good thing or any kindness I can show to any living thing, let me do it now and not delay, for I shall not pass this way again." So I leave you with that, and thanks.
Assalamu alaikum. Everybody, assalamu alaikum. Thank you. I'm so glad to be in front of you today. I'm so glad Muhammad invited me last month or the month before, I think. And I came here and I shared my story with the students. And it was part of my job to share my story with the community, always. Because I was serving the community for long time. Since I came to America for 10 years, I was serving the community. I'm so glad the students shared my story with you, and you learned a lot from me because I was struggling for a while when I came to the United States here. And I was like 20 years in the United Arab Emirates. I was in Yemen for 7 years. I am kind of 5th generation in diaspora. My dad even born in diaspora. And I'm leading the culture and the heritage of the Somali culture. And because those who live in diaspora, they like always, and they respect their culture and history, and that's why I'm keeping my culture and collect over 1,500 artifacts to share with the communities here and build bridge that connects the communities to learn from each other. Because we have the largest Somali immigrant in the United States here in Minnesota. That's why the museum is here, and that's why we are educating the other communities, the Somali culture, because once you learn from me and I learn from you, we're gonna make kind of good relationship, and that's what's gonna create a good environment between us. And I'm so glad that these young students sharing and gathering and respecting their parents and teachers. So education is about challenge. Once you are in school, you have to respect as a student your teacher, your parents, your friends, your neighborhood, and be kind always and respect the other people. Thank you so much, and thanks for the family.
Before I pass this on to Principal Pollock, I just wanted to say once again, thank you for our elders who came here to share their stories. Can we give one more round of applause to our elders? And then I wanted to say a special thank you to all the fourth graders here. We worked really hard in our songs. We worked in talent development and music. Sometimes I came into your classroom, but I know the songs are for the elders, but you guys moved me with your music as well. And so I'm so proud of the work that you put in today. And I'm just proud of all of you. So let's give a round of applause to our fourth graders, please.
Thank you, Joe. I have a few thank yous to end our program with, but before I do that, I want to just let the parents know that we are going to take group photos right after my thank yous, and we will start with Miss Cornelius's class since they are up on the risers. Then we'll do Miss Cowan's second, and we'll do Miss Morrow's third. So family members, if you want to take a picture, photograph of your student's classroom, please feel free to do that. Again, we'll do Miss Cornelius's, Miss Cowan's, and then we'll end with Miss Morrow's. And thanks to our amazing community, and especially our wonderful PTO, we have some cookies outside in the hallway to enjoy after the photos. But before we do all that, I always share with my children who are now grown adults, one in college, one out, that was a goosebumps feeling kind of night. And what I mean by that and what we used in our family as my kids are growing up is just a proud moment. Like Mr. Thomas, Mr. Steve, and Miss Runke Jones said, these students, your children, wrote these songs. They worked on them. They interviewed the elders. So this is very transdisciplinary in respects of just learning about someone that they didn't know and sharing this beautiful music and song. So thank you for a wonderful night. Will my helpers come up? That's a cue. Will my helpers come up? You know, I want to do a very, very special thank you to Miss Runke Jones, right over there, Mr. Thomas, and another amazing member of our team here, and musician himself, Mr. Steve from Kids Place. Thank you to the wonderful collaboration of these three educators, but without that, The collaboration with the 4th grade teachers is amazing. Miss Morrow, right over here. Thank you. Miss Cornelius, right back there. Oh, Miss Cowan's in the hallway. And Miss Cowan. Thank you to the teachers, classroom teachers. They were instrumental in schedule adjustments, practicing in their own classrooms, and doing all of that. So again, thank you. I want to do also one last special thank you. We have a school board member, Abdi Hakim Ibrahim, right back there. Thank you for being here. It was a joy to see his face. I shook his hand earlier and thanked him. But thank you for the support all of you have for this amazing learning community. We thank you. Enjoy the rest of the evening. And let's start with photos of Miss Cornelius. Will you come up, Miss Cornelius?